Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live conversation web television. Over here, we discuss stories that are trending on social media, and also we discuss offbeat issues that traditional media is not really talking about. Now, 2 Fridays back, we had done the review of a new book on the block, a new writer on the block, Vani Kaushal's The Forbidden Groom. The Recession Groom, sorry. And today we are going to be reviewing another new book on the block, another new author on the block, and the book is called The Forbidden One and the author is Zaarra Khader. Okay, I have the book here with me, as you all can see. It's very interesting. It's a picture of one half of a woman. I'm definitely going to ask the author what exactly this means. Now, what the book says, let me read out what the blurb says. The Forbidden One is a compilation of short stories, a chronicle of characters who in some way or the other are either excluded or restrained or tattooed promiscuous by society. So basically, they live their lives, and as we go and as we delve deeper, we discover strengths, we discover self-belief, and even a sense of ease with which these characters go about their daily chores. Okay, so this is a new book that is doing the rounds. Zaarra Khader, in fact, has trained to be an aircraft maintenance engineer, but she did not pursue that line. She became a radio jockey, and after that, she also a radio programmer. She launched radio stations. She also wrote some lovely jingles for radio. She moved from Delhi to Bombay and started her own enterprise, and writing apparently was always her calling. We're going to talk to her about that as well. Zaarra Khader joins us online from Bombay. Joining us also is Mr. Giraj Sharma. Giraj Sharma is going to be doing a live critique of the book. The critique that we already have some book reviews on certain portals, which we will be bringing to you in a bit. Also, senior acquisitions editor of Leadstart Publishing House. That is the publishing house which has in fact published this book, The Forbidden One. We have Malini Nair from Leadstart, who's going to tell us about what Leadstart liked about the author, liked about this compilation of stories, and why they decided to publish it. So if any of you wants to join the conversation live, please do that. Just click the participation request button on India Post Live. Any tweet you have to send on this book, on the author, on the show, write into us at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. Okay, let's first have you, Zaarra. Zaarra, welcome to India Post Live. Thank you so much for joining and speaking to us about your book.
Pleasure is all mine. How are you doing, Ilanjana?
Thanks so much, Zaarra. Okay, Zaarra, firstly, I have to tell you, all the boys in my office, all my colleagues have asked me two things. Where is the other half of the woman? Now, that's the first thing you need to explain to me before we move on.
Well, before that and before I answer this, they need to tell me what are the forbidden thoughts they got in their head when they saw the cover. Only when they answer this will I introduce them to the first half of the woman, which is the missing link there.
Okay. So, so which half is forbidden? I mean, is this half forbidden or the upper half forbidden? Which part of a woman is forbidden, really?
Well, I don't think there is any part which is forbidden.
Okay.
That is choice. You would the upper part, like the lower one.
Yes.
Which one is more.
All right. Zaarra, I'm going to, come to you. But first, let me get Mr. Giraj Sharma. Let's first, remove all the suspense. Let us have a live critique of the book, because I have also read the book. There are certain things even I want to say. Mr. Giraj Sharma joins us from Delhi. Sir, what do you have to say about the book? Have you read all 10 stories? You've read every word, okay. Can we have a live critique of this book on India Post Live?
I really don't know where to start, because we want to look at the book holistically. If you take a comprehensive view, then it's a different thing, because I think and if you pick up one story after another, then the stories are very different, even though they come with the same umbrella of the Forbidden One. There's a main character in each story who is who's either doing something forbidden
Yeah.
or is the forbidden one. So that is the common umbrella, but I think that's where the commonality ends. Because when you read the book, you read one story after another, and I think I had the benefit of reading all these stories in sequence. So therefore, suddenly you realize that there is so many characters, and all the characters that Zaarra has portrayed are people that you can sort of relate to.
Yes.
They come live in front of you, and you suddenly wonder that life is so full of such colorful characters all around you, because and each of them are doing completely different things, completely bizarre things, which are forbidden, but those people are very sure of what they're doing. So I think if you look at a comprehensive view of which I think is unfair to a book which is full of short stories,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there is more to it than taking risks.
Right.
When you do a kiddie novel, it's much simpler because you have a set of characters, the main theme runs around. Here, the commonality ends, except for the forbidden, there's nothing else which is common. I think the highlight of the book for me is the way each character has been penned down by Zaarra. I think each of them are so sensitive, each character, they want to achieve what they want to achieve. They're fighting laws, they're fighting traditions, and they're not doing that because there is a spirit of fighting tradition or fighting or challenging community. They are actually doing it because they believe what they are doing, and I think that's so beautiful.
Right. Okay, Mr. Giraj, let me tell you, I have in fact read the book Zaarra. I have read the stories, and the stories that touched me the most were Rida's love story and Coffee and Cake. And like Mr. Giraj said, these are characters that you see everywhere around you. The stories that you have penned down are things that could have been happening to anyone around us, and it's totally relatable. Certain parts, certain experiences, certain episodes, certain incidents that you have brought out are so familiar. It was uncanny in its familiarity, Zaarra. So, okay, now let's talk about your journey. We have a critic who has critiqued your book. We will get to the slightly, if he found anything that could be improved upon. But let's start with your journey. How did you come up with this idea of penning down these stories?
Actually, the idea of writing, when I was 6th standard in school, the magazine those days, pursued profession engineering, the audio broadcast industry, so to say. I think study has been a part of life. Almost everyone has a story. But there's this urge to untold stories which are here, which need to be brought out, because issues maybe people think that you're revolutionary. I didn't want to be there to bring out stories. This is what happens in this, thereby draw attention of the people to issues that really matter to us, which may not be as big as issues that we see on television, may not be as big as blockbuster these days, but these are real life issues.
Yeah. The small things, but the real things is what you have talked about in your stories. In fact, what really, there were certain stories which I felt that for those people, those characters, I'm not going to give away much of your stories, Zaarra, don't worry. But what I have felt was that for certain people, love seemed forbidden, constantly being unlucky in love, and then they had decided that okay, it is not for them, it's not going to happen, and perchance through some happy incident they discover love all over again. And you have talked of interreligious love, you have talked of the love a single mother feels for her child and for a man who's filled in that void in her life. You have talked of a woman who loves her partner so much, a partner who in a fit of jealousy did something so wrong. I mean, these are very, very real stories, Zaarra, that I must compliment you for this compilation. But let me now bring Malini Nair into this conversation. Malini, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me,
Yes,
Nilendra?
I can hear you, Malini. Malini, before I will of course come back to Giraj, I want to get another aspect of the critique. But Malini,
Yeah,
first of all, Leadstart
right.
Publishing, you have also published The Recession Groom, and
Yes,
again a first-time author, Vani Kaushal. Zara is a
that's
first-time author. What is
that's right.
it about your publishing house that makes you take such risks, commercial and editorial?
We work with a lot of first-time authors. The risk is just as equal, even if it would be a second-time published author. The risk is based on the content that we read. So, of course, we have an evaluation that's in place for how to select a particular book.
Right.
But a whole and it's on our website for any author who wants to access and read what a publishing house looks. But of course, it's not all math. There is a lot of judgment that goes into what to pick and what not. In Zara's book, to be specific, you said a lot of things yourself, and Giraj also pointed out.
Yes.
So the term forbidden one, itself is intriguing.
Yes.
If you look at some of the other titles of the stories, there is sinful aspirations, which I think is the overall, the overarching theme, so to say, of all her 10 stories. Um, I'll just leave you with, my favorite title, Mango Love.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a story of a woman with, have you heard of a mango love of a woman with a mango tree? Right?
Right.
So it's definitely worth taking a risk on content like this, unconventional, interesting, contemporary, and it's fun to work with an author. You yourself introduced Zara as someone with a background in media, PR. She understands today's market reality and has written something for the contemporary audience, and knows how to work on her book. So
Right.
it's all there. It's the right mix, and
So,
we
so,
think it will be a successful
so
book.
it's a winning combination, which is going to be a success. This book isn't out in the market. Is it already out in the market? Is it going? Is there going to be a formal launch? Can you tell us something about that,
Yeah.
Malini?
Um, yeah, it's formally going to be launched next Wednesday at Crossword Stores, Kemp's Corner, Mumbai. And I think Shekhar Suman is the guest of honor.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Let me get back to Mr. Giraj now. Let me get back to Mr. Giraj. Mr. Giraj, we have been talking all positives. Is there anything that you think could have been done better in the style of writing, or any other criticism, if I may use the word, that you have of this book and the stories?
One, I think the story is why only 10, why not more? So that's the thing that I got on that page.
Okay.
I wanted more. So why only 10?
Okay.
Having said this, I will let you, but if I have to sort of look at it, okay, one thing, Zara's narrative, the way she builds her narrative, I think is more chatty,
Yes.
more, the word that Malini mentioned, is more contemporary. So, she does not fall into the bracket of, of somebody who's trying to sort of create a piece of literature. She is actually narrating stories, so she's more a storyteller, and I think that's the beauty, because the originality and the expression that she's used are everyday expressions,
Yes.
and they're easy to comprehend, and yet I think I would say that okay, this style had actually gone had become outdated, because a lot of newbie writers, they get carried by their own passion for writing, and they bring in some very heavy duty words, and
Yeah.
they're trying to sort of weave something which is a linguistic delight.
Just to
Here, I
prove,
think I
just to
see
prove a point. Yeah.
just to prove, yeah. So I think Zara sort of, has taken that risk, as Malini mentioned. I think she's straight true to her style. She knows she's a very good storyteller, so she's just narrating story, and the narrative builds up, slowly, gradually, in the style that you would chat with somebody. So it's like somebody actually in front of you reading out a story.
Exactly.
So, so maybe the purist may take a different viewpoint, saying that like this is not in the conventional sense, so to say, a piece of literature which sort of will become like classics. But I think in terms of the potency of the story being told and the way the characters have been sort of defined, I think I would even let that go, and I would say I think full marks for the honesty and integrity of the author in narrating story which are so pure.
Right, Giraji, in fact, you have reviewed over 200 books, and what I felt is that, the third person narrative that she uses, there's not so much of dialogue, there's not so much of direct speech there. It's a lot of indirect speech that she's using. So like you said, she's more of a storyteller. Even I felt that. How do you see, her future as a writer? Because, I believe personally that the more you do, the more you work, the better you become in any artistic, expression. So do you see her developing as a, very well established author in the near future?
I would certainly bet on Zaarra if I was a publisher, because I think this doesn't look like a first attempt. This doesn't look like a book of any.
Yeah, she said she had these stories in her since she was in 6th standard, and she's come a long way from that, I know. So obviously they were developing somewhere within her, and finally it's come out on paper. All right, thank you. I believe. Sorry.
The only word of caution that I would like to sort of leave for Zaarra is that let her not get carried away. This book is going to certainly do well. Let her not get carried with all the accolades and start changing her mold.
Yes.
She is a storyteller par excellence. I think she should confine herself to telling stories. Maybe tell long, lengthy stories, maybe get into novels or whatever. But confine her style. This is her style, and I think if she will be very well off if she stays in that style of her storytelling.
Okay, great. Zaarra, you heard that. You heard that from Girajji. Stick to your storytelling. That's what you excel at. Zaarra, of course, you've been grinning from year to year, I could see, at all the lovely things that even I have been saying about your book, and needless to say, Mr. Giraj Sharma. But let's get into the other aspect. We all know, like Malini was saying, you have had a media background, and you know that, it's not just about writing a book. There's so much hard work involved, marketing it, seeing to it that people get to know about it. In fact, for the past few years, I have also been seeing book trailers coming out. We just saw Vani Kaushal's book trailer on Recession Groom. So how are you strategizing on marketing your book? What are you doing? And I know you're working very hard. Take us through that process a little bit, very briefly, please. Yeah.
I'm glad you asked me this, because when I started writing, I thought writing in a book is something which is gonna be a tedious task, And I was halfway done, and I was already tired, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'd really have to finish a book. So when you finish that is when you realize that the journey has just started, because it's not just about getting a few stories or a novel in place. It takes much more than that, and when you actually have to get your work out to the world, reaching out to the readers, and also trying to figure out, did they like your work? What is the response?
Yeah.
So, coming to the book trailer part of it, I think there is no author, there is no publishing house or a marketing expert who still cracked the most perfect way of marketing a book, which is going to get you the maximum response.
Okay.
I think it's a learning experience for each one of us. Okay? Who are blessed with a lot of money, who can invest and buy full page ads and stuff like that, while the others who really cannot go all out on that front need to crack of subtle ways which can reach out to maximum audience. That's precisely what I am also trying to do. So we have a Facebook page which we've kept for interaction with people. Interestingly, I didn't want people who are in the tier 2, tier 3 markets to be deprived of the pleasure of reading per se my stories. So we are also trying to get an audio format of the book done, so that the stories or the subjects that we're trying to talk about through this book reach out to the people.
Through radio? Through radio. Audio format as in? Is it an audio book, or is it through radio?
So it is going to be a radio show that we're working on.
Great.
And while I don't want to give away everything about the stories, because we still want the book to sell and people to go pick their copies, I'm also trying to work out something which is like an audio blog. The problem with a title like mine or subjects like mine is that a lot of people, or rather each one of us, would have done something forbidden, but I don't know how much we want to come out in open and
But you don't have, Zaarra, you don't have any explicit sexual content in this book. There is no explicit sexual content.
It's actually funny. So
I wouldn't mind reading some of it, frankly, but it's not there. I mean, so much for the cover, but that's it. There's nothing else. You don't venture beyond kissing.
Wait for the next one. I think people with that kind of appetite would not have anything to say.
Thank you for that. Wait for the next one. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So we are trying to work on an audio blog because
Yeah.
I realized not many people will come on a camera and talk about the forbidden things that they've done or times that they've felt forbidden. But they would definitely be okay talking about it. So we are launching an audio blog soon, which is going to be a Pan India initiative where we invite people to come and share their forbidden experiences.
Lovely. Malini, okay, let's bring you that Facebook page of, the Forbidden One. And in fact, quite a few comments have already started coming on that. And also, her book has also been, we just had a live critique of the book by Giraj Sharma. We also have Goodreads who has reviewed the book. And Goodreads has had some wonderful things to say. So let's get you all of that as an infographic. The first, let's show you the Facebook page that Zaarra was talking about. That is the Facebook page, the Forbidden One. Okay, there is a contest also coming soon. Okay, Zaarra, first of all, congratulations on your book. Finished the first story. Love is all not black and white. Very well written. Thanks. After reading the story, I came to know the reason for my pain and anger. Wow, that's Ritu Goel who has loved it. The Forbidden One is a book I have got to read. Waiting for it to hit the market. All right, there you have it, that woman again. Okay. The love of the forbidden is always strong. Allure of the forbidden is always enchanting. We have experienced it. Every story is different yet gripping. There you already have book reviews coming up on that Facebook page. Stories are alluring as the temptation of the forbidden one. Compelling themes, captivating, must read for all those who have experienced the temptation of the forbidden one. We all have. I mean, even when it comes to vices like smoking, drinking, and here she has dealt with a lot of stuff, a lot of not just extramarital affairs, but a relationship, love between people of two different religions, a lot of things like as I told you, each story deals with a different theme of something that is forbidden, yet we are compelled to do it, and that is exactly what the book review at Goodreads says. Let's bring that up right now. A wonderful review done by Goodreads, a very, very positive review done by Goodreads also. We have that. And there you have it, Devi Nair. Devi Nair has reviewed the book and she says, the moment you feel like you're losing yourself in the characters, it is the moment when you get the true essence of the book. The way the characters are molded feel natural. It feels more like a narration of a true incident than a story. Most of them, in fact, all the stories can actually be true stories. She has made a wonderful compilation of the stories, strikes crucial matters beautifully. It is a read to believe kind of book. Okay, that is what Goodreads is saying. Devi Nair is saying about the Forbidden One. Okay, so again, great reviews there. Malini, let me get back to you. What Zaarra has talked of her efforts in marketing and her understanding that it is so important to market it well. How are you as a publishing house, what are you doing from your end to market this book?
You're right, Zaarra is doing a lot to promote the book because that is the reality of today. Just good content is not enough. It needs to reach the right audience.
Right.
And every book has to fight its battle. Every author has to work, to work on his book, to put that out into the market. And it cannot be a standalone effort. Just an author cannot do it alone. Neither can a publishing house do it without the author putting in their time. It's not just about investment. Investment does play a role, honestly, but it's not just about investment. It's about the personal effort that is put behind.
Of course.
So we have helped. We've been helping Zaarra setting up the event that we have, a book launch event. I'm hoping will get the first set of sales going. The reviews, the wonderful reviews that you read, have come from the media that we've sent our books to, but of course it was Zaarra's effort in connecting to the right people, because those things always work on a personal note. The more an author interacts with journalists, the more an author interacts with her readers, the higher the chances of a book getting reviewed, the higher the chances of book reaching more and more people. And especially for a first-time author, it is just as important to build up his or her own brand, so that the readers want to read what she has written, whether it's this book published by Leadstart, the next one hopefully published by us. If not,
yes.
This is about Zaarra's journey as an author, and
yes.
That's what every author should look at: how to build up their brand as an author.
Right, but I'm sure it's the start of a beautiful relationship between Zaarra and Leadstart, because you have supported her in her first work, so I'm sure the relationship is bound to continue. Zaarra, what next? What next for your plans regarding writing? You have already told me that I will see some more exciting stuff in your next book. What are your thoughts?
Well, the only little breathing space that I got, I just finished writing a short story which has been sent to Bristol Awards for short stories. It's a short story on Devdasis, which comes back from some parts of Andhra Pradesh. It's again a story of a woman who's been a Devdasi or felt like a Devdasi, even in the contemporary scene. So that's the now, but the next one that I'm going to be writing is a novel. The title is as sensational, as scandalizing as this one. I don't know if I should reveal it now, but yeah, for now we're calling it a novel by the title of It Was Consensual. Things that we agree to without knowing what we're signing up for.
In fact, for any novel, Girajji, you were just telling Zaarra that she should write longer stuff, and she's already revealed that she's working on a novel.
Super. Very good.
Yeah.
I think you've given her a much more important input than I have. Because about the content getting, that's the.
Right.
Except for the story of the painter and one.
Right.
Keep this out. What?
All right, great. All right, so lovely. It was great having all of you on my show. Time to wrap up now, but I would like to wish Zaarra Khader all the very best in this endeavor. The book is about to be launched in the market, and we have done a review. We have done a live critique of the book by a renowned book reviewer. We have also had a member of the publishing house with us on board. I think it's been a wonderful conversation. Zaarra, all the very best. And thank you so much for joining us. Malini Nair, it was great having you talk to us about why you take risks with first-time authors and what it is you liked about this particular collection that you are supporting Zaarra so much. Thank you so much, Malini. It was great having you. And also, of course, Mr. Giraj, thank you for that wonderful review that you did live for us on India Post Live. We will wait for your review to come out in, I believe, Business Standard. Where else will it come out?
I think I write for most of the people that do
Right. Okay. So we are waiting for your review to come out in print and on the net as well, and we will definitely put it up. Please put it up on India Post Live if you can. It'll be great if we could have that on our site, of course. Thank you so much, and all of you. I believe you have heard enough, seen enough to want to pick up this book from the stores the moment it hits the market, and it is going to do that as early as next week. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, do write into us, send us your tweets. And see you on Monday again. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.